Okay, we just booked the
Yes.
Santa experience. I'm sorry that I went all
Yes,
off grid for a minute there. Did we just watch a kiss or a choke? Both.
Mm.
What is wrong with you, McIsaacs?
Oh,
Because I'm
this
not
is shocking. Donald Trump wins Montana. I couldn't have predicted that.
weird.
It just popped up on my thing.
Projected winner. Do you know how much they've counted in Montana? Only 5%. And they're like, we're ready to call it. It is true.
Welcome to Talk Like a Mother Parenting Autism Podcast. We are Jen, Kim, Rachel, and Jaime. Take a seat at our table as we share with hope, humor, and honesty.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Talk Like a Mother Podcast. Tonight or today, whenever you're listening, we are doing a Tired as a Mother episode, which we haven't done in a while. This is kind of an episode where we just chit chat because we're tired, but also just to get things off our chest and, you know, be the co-hosts you love of this podcast.
Yeah, we just want to really highlight our shining personalities in this November.
Take a drink.
Talk about all that we're accomplishing.
How's everyone's week going? It is November now.
It has been a long week. And it's only Tuesday, so.
I was like, it's Tuesday.
We're recording on a Tuesday here.
Oops, beepy. It's long. It's been long for me.
I don't know what day it is anymore, so.
I didn't either earlier, and I'm like, is it only Tuesday? That's not even possible.
It's sad news when you figure out it's still Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Friday was Saturday, and then the soap operas came out, and I'm like, it's Friday. It was like, oh, felt like a bonus day of soap operas.
Oh my gosh,
Oh,
you're
you know,
like
I did forget
so
that I
much.
wasn't caught up on Real Housewives, so I got to watch that yesterday, which was nice because that comes out on Friday.
Fun.
I'm not watching anything right now, so. Except I did watch some clips of GH, but.
That's General Hospital, where you regular people like I.
If they don't know, they don't deserve an explanation.
They don't. Got a big.
I was like, duh.
Pretty big historic storyline going on right now.
I was a Days of Our Lives girl, and that is not.
I was watching The Love Connection with Chuck Woolery instead of soap operas in my life when I was little.
I watched that too, but I used to be a Channel 5 soap girl. All my children wanted to live General Hospital. I did watch Days of Our Lives sometimes because that's my sister. That's her soap. Mary, that's her soap.
Hell yeah,
so
Mary.
Yep. So she used to come, and then Maxie from General Hospital used to play, but I think it was Belle. She used to play on Days. Yeah.
And Xenon or Xenon, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Kristen Storm,
the
my brother
Disney.
had a huge crush on her.
And then my sister started watching General Hospital because of her.
I would come home from school every day and I would watch Passions and then Days of Our Lives. Passions
That shows how young you are because Passions was only on for a very
short amount of time when I was in middle school. I'll be your passion for, like, I still remember the theme song. It's the weirdest soap opera there ever was. There was like a mermaid and then like it was weird.
They were ahead of their times.
Well, my mom came down the other day and I was watching General Hospital. And she's like, is that Robert Scorpio? I'm like, yeah, which is Tristan Rogers. And she took me to Detroit to meet him one year, like probably like maybe it was like 1989 or something. I mean, I was young, but I was a GH fan, like an obsessive about it, which I know is very hard for you people to imagine. And actually, my mom and I took the wrong door into the wrong area and ended up in the back stairwell with Twisted Sister. My mom and I.
That's hilarious.
That was a little bit.
Until that Twisted Sister turn of events, I thought, oh my God, that happened to Kim when she met that teen wolf. Yeah. But you didn't end up in a staircase with Twisted Sister, did you?
What year was
I met Robert Scorpio.
Anyway. I keep saying we were talking about Tyler Hoechlin as the actor from Teen Wolf, and he's also plays Superman on Superman and Lois, which is wrapping up. And when we saw him in Georgia at the Teen Wolf convention, because I was from Massachusetts, he was like, oh, I'm going to be in Rhode Island next weekend. And I tell the story how he invited me to come to Rhode Island. And Lexi's like, that's not what happened. I'm like, that's what I heard.
In my mind, that is exactly what happened.
He said, come to Rhode Island, please.
That's so funny.
Be my date in Rhode Island.
Yes, he said meet him at the hotel, not the convention.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I heard. The convention is at a hotel. So it's the same thing.
Oh, God.
Were we just talking about stalkers? Who was a stalker?
Me?
Oh, no, we're talking about Jen stalking Taylor Swift on the live.
Taylor Swift?
remember we're talking about Taylor Swift and Jen's like, she's like, I'm not a Swiftie, but I would
Oh,
go
the
follow
other day.
her or something. I can't remember what
I'm a new fan, but also I know her blood type.
What else is going on? Prayer room. Kimmy has 50 million people in her house.
Mhm. Yep,
I
she's
have
at a
50 million people in my
population boom.
house. Work sucks this week. I'm sick. I have
Her friends
UTI.
won't read her fucking book. Bitches.
Who?
Said her friends won't read her fucking book.
Yeah,
those
my friends
bitches.
won't read my book.
Jamie,
And
a
they need
saucy
to,
cocktail, and she comes to life over
Whoa.
there.
yeah,
Well,
we're
saucy.
just on a highlight. I am going away and I'm leaving Saturday. So I'm excited about that.
On a vacation. She's not leaving her
Well,
family.
I couldn't say the word. But
Oh,
just me and my husband are going. We're going to Fort Lauderdale.
Nice
Because
job, Jake.
because I was excluded from a family event and I was very sad about it. My husband said we could go on a trip.
it's a trip.
Yeah,
So
a trip near
but
the
we
palm
couldn't go at
trees.
the time because son and his wife were moving in that weekend. So like we couldn't leave. So we're going this weekend. We're going Saturday and we're coming back Wednesday. We're just going to Fort Lauderdale. So I am excited about that. But I've been exhausted beyond belief these past like 2 weeks and I could not figure out why. And now I've figured out that I'm getting a UTI, and for some reason, I mean, Tabitha is the one who taught me this, and I never knew that that was a UTI symptom, but every time I get one, I get like bone tired. It's just like crazy. Also, this one had a very difficult day. We had glass broken here. We had a huge meltdown. I don't know. It's just like makes you second guess. Like, should we be leaving? Should I be going to do this? Like, it always puts
Yeah.
a little damper on it. I know it was just a bad day and she did skip her medicine yesterday. Did she have it tonight? She just skip her medicine last night. I don't know. Do you guys think it could make a difference that fast?
I will tell you something. I've been having this insurance issue with fluvoxamine at 50 milligrams or whatever the F I need. And they filled it for 5 days. And then on the 6th day, they still hadn't gotten their shipment of the remaining days. You know what I'm saying? You know, where they like give you the little bump or whatever. Well, yesterday night, she didn't get her fluvoxamine. This morning, it was like a train wreck.
Really?
And by the time, yeah, and then getting out of school was a mess, like worthy of its own curse whistle for a few beeps and bops. And then transportation home was a nightmare. She did turn it around a little, but I gave her the anxiety medication as though it wasn't rescue med. I'm like, put this in your system. It will help
That's so
you.
shitty, bleepy, sorry, shitty, that's okay to say, that they do that. Like,
It's so bleepy.
it's so
Oh,
bleepy.
Yeah,
Terrible.
terrible.
False alarm. She did get it tonight. So sorry. I had a
Well,
panic attack.
for you.
Yeah.
Like,
I
it
don't
might not
know.
be the population boom after all. It's the no meds.
I don't know. My sister said it was like she was super angry. And then like she just kept crying all night because I think she was like so upset about like getting so upset and angry that she couldn't
Yeah.
like I don't know if she like thinks about it or like what happened. She's like fine, and all of a sudden she just starts crying and I'm like, oh, she's better now. But I don't know, like one dose, I don't know. It shouldn't affect her like that.
Well, it's just
But
probably
like
like she's already on the edge, maybe, or
but her
but
body
also like
metabolizes differently probably anyway, so
yeah. And our kids, it's just whenever you freaking think it's not going to happen, that's when they have like
it's
huge
true.
meltdown.
But yeah, so I don't know.
Jesse's kind of getting back into like school. He was having a rough time at the beginning of the year, and then every Monday he's like pissed. Like he's had this big leap in awareness, which has been great, but at the same time he's like now more aware
Mhm.
and pissed about things or just doesn't understand. So I was telling some of you on the phone yesterday, like they had their Halloween little party. They usually do the parade, and they do the parade inside usually, but they switched it up and did this whole different format with it outside, and they like did certain kids at a time who were dressed in certain costumes, and he like that just threw him because every year it's been inside, it's been the same, and it wasn't. And then they also had a fire drill that day, and so he had a really rough time at school. So when I went and picked him up, I knew there was trouble when not that he was in trouble, but I knew there had been trouble when his teacher and like his mental health person came out to talk to me, and they're like, he's not in trouble, because Jesse's big thing is always going, I'm in trouble.
You're
I'm
like
in
walking
trouble.
the other way.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, great. And they're like, he just got really overwhelmed by the Halloween events and he had to go. in the sensory room, and they said he actually had a good time in the sensory room, but then he feels like he's in trouble or he did something wrong because he didn't participate in the event. And so it's like in his brain, he doesn't get that, like, it's totally fine you didn't participate in the event, but he feels like he's supposed to. So that was kind of rocky, but
Like they want to rectify it, and then like obviously stuff like that they can't. So it always
and they
gets
want
like,
like, and he'll be like, he'll like, do it again, do it. I'm like, I cannot get the whole school
I was
together.
gonna say, it's like it feels
Oh, yeah.
unfinished for them.
yes,
Yeah.
And like
yes.
it's something they have to finish.
It's like the
Yeah.
FOMO, but he doesn't really want. He's not fearing the missing out, but he thinks he's not supposed to miss out.
Jaime, I just heard this thing called JOMO this week, which is the joy of missing out.
That's what
I'm like, JOMO, hey.
Jomo.
Sorry, I couldn't make it, JOMO. Okay.
How are things going for you, Rach?
Girl, it's kind of a crazy thing. You know, when we talked about doing this episode today, I said, oh, that's great if we do like a no format, because I have this update to give, which I'll do in a moment. But like everything is transitioning for us right now. It's just crazy. Like Celie started school in September, as is typical. Her teacher stopped showing up in October, and then later we learned that he is no longer at the school. And so like there was this like willy-nilly, let's make it work while he's out sick. And then you realize that out sick is probably using up that extra time on his clock before he quits.
Yeah.
So then it's this react, and now school is the same building. She's in the same neighborhood, which is to say like the same hallway of the school, but everybody, every part of her team before was built under that teacher. So now she's shuffled into somebody else's whole ass team. What you can have on your desk, in your desk, how your name is put on your desk, what the desk shape is in the classroom, who sits at each desk, all of it's different. And like, it's so much to adjust her sales that it's just a whole lot of different. And then like, she can and cannot have these toys, and or not toys, but like tools, like, I don't know. It's just, it's a lot of change for her. Then at home, this is the update I need to give. When we did our waiver episode, I did this whole like Minnesota, this is what it's what, this is why we're on this one waiver. And now we have switched. And so I sort of like misspoke in that waiver episode, in the sense that I was describing that we would have only switched to this type of waiver if she had gone to like residential treatment or whatever. Whereas now we're in this needs-based waiver, which has provided home care services for us. I think it's like 30 something hours a week, which is just started a week, like less than a week ago, but it's going super well. It's even more change though. That means that everything in our house is different. The relationships and dynamics of time and meeting these hurdles of the day are different. Like, even if it's good, it's still so much change. And that's, I think, where we're going to live until the holidays, when it's all different for a different reason. Like, I don't know. I think being Celie's, you learn that everything is temporary and change is the only thing we can count on. And that is just rearing its head right now.
All one.
Yeah, all at once. Yep. In another lane of life, we are facing some mental health stuff in our family in a new and different way. Billy just finished an outpatient treatment program where he was able to learn a ton about being healthy and coping with his struggles with anxiety and depression. And I don't know, I'm proud of where we're at. I'm just also like holding on tight because it's change. It's all stuff shifty.
Well, that's good though.
Yeah.
Glad that he's getting help.
Me too. I'm really proud of him. I read this piece of mine in Flanaville Memories, like from yesterday, and I was just sort of hitting the beginning of my rock bottom and trying to like break stigma and share about it 1 year ago right now. I don't know. It's just crazy. Our life is a crazy ride. And it's just been a lot of like heavy crisis level stuff all the time. It feels like we're like treading water, but surviving. Cause like I just said, it's a year back and we're still here kicking.
I was thinking about that today. So we're possibly doing a series soon on kind of adversity and going through things. And So I was just researching that a little bit today, and I just thought about how like when you're younger and how you imagine life, you're like, oh, these big hard things will happen, and then but most of your life will be like even kill, and you know, like you'll be fine. But like that is so not how adult life is. It's such a roller coaster. And it's just like by the time one thing settles, something else pops up, and it's just, and I feel like for all of us, you hit in like this heightened level of whatever, of adversity or trials or just day to day. And then it's like once you hit, you know, it's like our weights. Once you hit this certain weight, you're always gonna get back there, no matter what you do. But it's like it's like you're always butting your head on that, and then that seems to move higher and higher. And it's like, yeah, things might get better, or you move on from this to that, but then you always like get back there with something else. And your scope for that and your mental health also rises with that and falls with that.
Or things.
Yeah. And it's just life. Sucks.
I think that this life, you know, the one that we all have in common with one another, which is like caregiving on top of parenting and knowing adversity in this intimate way of life on the spectrum and disability and stuff. Our baseline is so different than a typical family. Like what is adversity to us versus at the beginning. I mean, I face some shit by like 10 a.m. every day that I'm like, most people don't even deal with this, you know, like every day. It's crazy.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about too in the way of like, I don't know, I just reshared a piece about like comparison, especially within this, right? Because we all are kind of in this bubble, the four of us, where we have created these communities of other parents with kids with disabilities, and it feels like you're always comparing, and sometimes you feel shitty sharing your hard because someone else always has it harder or whatever. And then but sometimes like when I step out of that bubble and I just look at my life and whether or not I'm comparing it to people's typical lives, I'm like, man, our baseline is so high. Like it's still not freaking fair. It's still hard, like no matter who I'm comparing to. I don't know. Jen, how are you doing?
I'm okay. So her infection behind her ears come back, and I always forget how hard that is on her body. And I was like, what is with her hair lately? Like, why is it her hair's our biggest struggle with her getting upset. She has such long, thick hair, but her ear is so infected. Anyway, it came back again with its staph again. And so that's like really painful, which I think then affects everything. Like you just don't feel well. She's on medication for it. That medication always knocks her down. So I realize that's probably why she's not feeling the greatest. So she's got her days and nights 100% flipped again. So
and she's always really tired.
She's always tired. She just has no, we didn't go to cheer last night, and I could not get her up for speech today. I physically couldn't get her up. She was so tired. And then at that point, like I just let her sleep. I'm not gonna, I mean, she's exhausted. So
yeah, it like wipes her out.
Wipes her out, yeah. And you know, I've told you ladies this, typically she'll, you know, let me sleep at night. Like I don't go into a deep sleep by any means, but she usually lets me get like chunks of sleep. Our house is alarmed. She can't get out without, like that's not an issue. But she wants me with her constantly. I don't know. It must be because she's not feeling great, but she wants me either in bed with her, or she wants to be in my bed. She just wants me with her, you know? So
I don't think you've talked about cheer on the podcast. How did she's done 1 week of cheer? How'd that go?
Oh yeah, she did one, we tried cheer, amazing. They're wonderful. And I couldn't figure out why the last 15 minutes, she just hysterically cried. And then I was like, well, her toe's still healing. Believe it or not, her toe is from that, you know, that's still healing. And her ear is a mess. I mean, it's like funky a mess. I mean, you can just like feel the heat and like it's just bad, you know, it's infected. So I think all the jumping around and all the movement and stuff, that by the end of it, I think her head was probably just throbbing. But she's not opposed to go back. She just was too tired. She just slept last night. Just couldn't get her up. So anyway, just sleep stuff. Typical.
Jesse's been very that has been a new change with us. So like Amelie, my youngest, she very much wants our attention, especially mine. If she's watching something on her tablet, if she's coloring something, anything she's doing, she wants to show me, she wants to tell me what's going on. Like, she's just always been like that. And sometimes that does wear on you. But Jesse, like, it's just always been different in the way that's like been me trying to engage with him, or me. Recently, he's been the same where he wants to be around me or my husband. It's always usually mostly me. And that's been actually kind of hard for me. Like, it's like cool and like amazing, but I'm not used to it. The constant of him like needing me, because he always needs me in a different way, where it's like I have to be around him. I need to be checking him. I need to be making sure he's not getting out of the house or doing this or this. But now it's like he needs that one-on-one attention a lot more. And like, and I've gotten like frustrated a couple times being like, okay, buddy, I'm trying to do this, or I'm trying to work. And then I'm like realizing like, no, this is like, I don't know what it is, why he's doing this. But like, this is a good thing. This is a change. And that he's like interacting with me more, or, and I won't even say it's always interacting, but he wants me close. But man, it's kind of been like an adjustment, because he before would just do his own thing and I would have to worry about him like running out of the house or doing this, but he just didn't need that attention before. And he kind of is doing that more and more.
Is she lonely all night? Like, I feel bad. I feel like we just cross paths in the like in the night, kind of. You know, we'll get up to go to the bathroom at the same time. I mean, you know,
Don't worry, she's calling me. It's fine.
Oh, she's calling Rachel. Yeah, she calls Rachel now. I feel bad. You know, I think about how lonely I'm sure she is, you know. So anyway.
Celia's caregiver's note tonight said, Celia asked me if she was gonna, or she thanked me for being her friend. And then tonight she asked me if she could be her friend forever, or it's just gonna be a little bit of a friend. And then she's gone forever. And I was like, oh gosh, like it goes from the sweetest to like then her sharing her fear, which is, I mean, it's just temporary. Everything, like these are caregivers of hers that have come. She lets them into her heart and into her circle of trust, and then they peace out. You know, she's like, how long do we get to have her? I'm like, oh God.
And that's so our kids' lives, like with everyone, like the teacher. So can I ask about the caregiver, Rach?
Yeah.
So she's in your home, right?
Yep. So
you around when she's around, or is it better for you not to be around?
It's going to be a little gray, I think. Basically we're in the home, so it's not like she's here, I should get a job, or like Billy and I could go out to a movie or something. It's more like she's the primary caregiver. So then Billy and I are sort of in hiding.
Yeah, that's like, what I would be doing.
Yeah.
You want to be around in case like you need to, but you also want them to build their own rapport, kind of a thing.
Yeah, it's like that right now. And I'm sure that it'll grow to be where she's more like diplomatic about stuff. But right now they're just sort of in that pairing stage of things where they're getting to know one another. You know, the goals of the agency is that she is the caregiver and that we can fall off, you know, like not be responsible during that time. But Celie runs herself into a wall and then hurts herself, and she needs her mom, and she, you know what I mean? She's not going to reach for her caregiver in that same way. And there's stuff like that that happens constantly. Just today, we were set for her to like get her from the vehicle and then start her afternoon of routine and blah, blah, blah. But then school called, or her driver called and was like, we're in crisis. This is where I'm at. Then I'm looking up the maps. Then I'm like, I can't have this person, even though she's extraordinary and wonderful and very sweet, like take this whole thing over. You know, I mean, it's just not really reasonable for Celie. But I will say that it has made us re-separate our home in the way that it was when we bought this house, or when we first moved into this house, in that Celie's stuff is all downstairs, and that she has sort of a rec space and an art bar, and her room is for comfort. And then the upstairs is sort of like where we have family time and no toys and no art projects and no more slime and stuff. Like it's all shifted so that they can have that lower level and sort of be together or be outside or go someplace or whatever. But it'll grow to be where they can be in the community together, and it'll be cool. We'll see where it goes, but it's slow to start and very dependent on all of us communicating together.
Is she there when C gets off the bus?
Yes. And she'll be there when Celie lays her head down as well. So like there's no transitions in or out of her being there, which is important for Celie's success with it, I think.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
good.
Yeah,
How do you feel about having someone around all the time?
it's great. Our level of need is so much. Like just today, Celie's wearing these specific boots because they're waterproof, which means that they've got tread on them to prevent from like falling in ice. So when I'm getting kicked in the head this morning, it's like being clobbered by a Goodyear tire. You know, this person being here until she goes to bed is wonderful, but Celie wakes up in 2 hours. Right now, I left when Jenn was speaking because Celie's screaming into her phone, auto text to me from downstairs. I can hear her screaming into her phone. So, like, she's now up for the day. So, like, help is help. And that's extraordinary, but it's not going to change a lot in that the workload is still upside down. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But it's just
Hours.
you just get a break in a time to recuperate from.
Yeah. Yep. Which is cool. Like when she's here, I could go soak and stretch my muscles or like fix my back a little or not be the one on call, just sort of like telling them, oh, yeah, popcorn is here. Help yourself to a movie. Here's the login. Not doing it all. I don't know.
I'd be hiding.
be
I'd
really
be like in the closet.
I'd be cleaning my room.
Only text me.
Yeah, literally.
Kim's phone's on silent. Light down.
I want her to be
Button.
successful though. You know, like
Yeah.
I want to back off in the moments that I should, and I want to be there to support both of them. And also I'm modeling as much as for Celie as for her caregiver because it's so fresh and new. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there's just a lot going on. And then there's weird stuff where like they have their own guidelines because it's a business, right? So like they're not going to cross any weird boundaries by eating dinner with us because if I then start providing her food, then such and such a boundary. Well, so what that means for us is that we're having dinner every night alongside her having dinner and it's gone great. But what if Celie wants what she's eating? You know what I mean? Like I just am like, like.
So does she sit at the table with you?
Yeah. And it's awesome. Like it's really
So
good.
weird.
But it is all weird. It is. Yeah. And I'm more grateful. I feel like
What if Rachel wants what she's having?
Like, I'm gonna pass this
I
gravy, but you better
know.
not take any.
tradesies. It's really cool and the gain is obvious for us, but there is sacrifice to it. I mean, it is definitely.
Well, you think about a lot of like, I mean, I was a nanny and not saying that's the same thing, but like a lot of families do this where they bring other people in their home.
Yeah.
Just for us, you're so, I don't like the word weird, but our lives are weird. And so bringing someone in, even if it's a person trained to help with your kids, you feel like you're being judged.
Yeah.
Even more so some of that, you know, like we had Jesse's therapist in our home every afternoon for a year, Monday through Friday. That should be, but it was like, you know, like one time we were digging around looking for a toy and she's like, well, why don't you like pack up some of these toys so there's not so many toys? I'm like, just like, you know what, lady, like I have, you know, like he wants these things around and yes, I could be better about like, but little things like that where you're like, this is just how we do it and this is how I survive. Don't, you know, it's a little bit weird, but like it's also like you can get used to people. And I always say like I would nanny for people and like, yeah, the first like 4 or 5 months are kind of awkward and then like you just kind of work your way into their family and hopefully she's malleable and she just works her way in and you guys work and, you know, and obviously personality and all that, but it's definitely awkward in the beginning, I think, but help is help. And I think that's
awesome. And I have like no ability to filter anymore. So I'm sort of like, I hope you don't quit because of me or my daughter, because like I can't. Yeah. I'm like, whatever, open heart, open door. This is what we're doing. And she's cool. She's like going to school to be a psych or in social work. She wants to be a social worker. I'm like, this is great. She thanked us for showing her what she won't be able to learn in a textbook. I'm like, okay. And now we hug.
I've got plenty to show you.
I've got a lot to show you. Yeah. Yeah. This might not be on your test, sweetheart.
You're going to need another notepad.
Yeah.
Actually, no pens though. Could you just do speak to text? Thank you.
Yes, please don't bring anything sharp into home. I just, you know, I appreciate a company even wanting to take our case. I appreciate them converting all of our needs into a care plan. I appreciate that she's showing up. I'm like super stoked about it. And I really can't say enough for like all the things that have lined up. It is so hard. Like it has been years and years of me advocating for what she needs, what Celie needs, and what I can no longer do on my own. And I don't say that because Billy doesn't help. I say that because like he and I are not enough, like, period. Like, that's what it is. It's not emotional. We are not enough for her. So just the bigger the team can be, the less we have to call the police. I don't know. It's good news for us.
Yeah.
Frees up
We need
that
to
line
change the
with
dynamic in our home so hard because it's like she's triggered everywhere. We're triggered everywhere. I mean, this podcast I have shared over the course of the last year, my mental health is trash. I'm working very hard every day to show up at all and to keep hope in my heart. And I feel like that's returned a bit because of the work that we're doing. And Billy's mental health failed. Like, he is struggling in the hospital last month. He's been in this committed program, like this program that he committed to. He has not been committed, but he is
little word jumble there.
Yeah, a little jumble. And I'm so proud of him. Like, I'm so proud of him. But when I look back to last year, girls, we were like separated.
Yeah.
The reason I was struggling is because Billy was doing okay at home and I was like at his house with her. And I was thinking like, great, then I can peace out. Deuces. Like, I gotta go. I can't fight this battle anymore. Now he and I are working together. She and him are, meaning Celia and her dad, are working closely together. Like, there's just this flow about us that I can appreciate, though it's shitty. And I had a tire hit my face today with the like momentum of her whole foot. We are better off than we were at this point last year. Like, we're making it. I don't know.
Which is good. And it will this is very new for people listening, the caregiver in the home, and
like day 3 new. Day 3. Yeah.
But maybe in like a week, you like, while she's there, you go for like a 20-minute walk and like leave the home for a little bit and then come back and see if the home's still standing. And then you could go for like a 30-minute walk. And then maybe you guys can go for a move, like just
even being in a different room than her is an adjustment.
Yeah.
Her tether is so short and has been so high needs and dangerous, like very, very dangerous. There's glass flying all the time. There's furniture floating through the air like it's a Harry Potter cleanup show. Like, it is not good around here. So, I mean, you girls know this, but like, I have a hot tub in the backyard in this porch that I've created, like a little sanctuary, just to let my struggles go with the bubbles. And getting there, even for 30 minutes, helps me, like, mentally, physically, everything. So I don't know. We're at a better place. It's still not dope, but we did it today without the cops.
There's hope.
Winning. By the way, my daughter called today Kamala Harris Day. I'm like, okay, what about Gus's dad?
Oh, yeah. Today's election day. For those listening, we're recording election night, so
That's also why we're tired as a mother and drunk as a skunk because the nerves are shot over here.
Back to our coping episode.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
What else is going on? Is anyone watching anything? I feel like we're not as
No.
the media. I'm trying to get Kitty to watch Outlander. I'm trying to get her watch Fall Guy. I always text Kimmy. I'm like, you guys should watch this. I know.
We're gonna get a thing that you watched what you just said on for my daughter's room.
Oh,
For you or for her?
For us.
yeah.
Because she doesn't let us in her own room.
Just switch rooms.
Yeah, and then she watches Octonauts out here, so we can't
Yeah.
even if we wanted to.
You need a new
Octonauts?
television.
You like Octonauts?
programs.
Yeah. Love you. And
Yeah.
then
9 years.
yeah, when we go away, we're gonna just lay in bed and like watch like TV, movies.
Yeah, watch. I mean, Isaac
Well, no,
used
but
to
like
always
a lot of hotels that we go to, like they don't have like movies a lot now.
or like you have to pay, or they just expect you to like log into your.
Yeah.
We rented a movie at a hotel like the last time we were there, and you pay per time you watch it.
Oh,
And
awesome.
like my kid watches it back to back. I mean, that thing's just on repeat, and they're not like cheap at a hotel.
This one does have, you could order the pay-per-view movies, which I'm excited about because like a lot of places that we've been to, like smaller hotels, they just don't have, sometimes they just have like the regular TV channels. So you don't even have an option to do anything else on them. I'm like,
Yeah. It's
I mean,
like
we
some
don't typically
local-
watch TV when we're away because we're like doing other stuff and then like just
Yeah.
crashing at night usually. So it's not like really that big of a deal. We just watch what's on like USA, TNT. I don't even know if those channels exist, but you know what I mean? Like those like channels that like they typically have. I'm like, okay, there's 3 options. We're just gonna pick one.
For
But
my honeymoon, me and Isaac got married in August of 2012. So the Olympics were on. And we just like, we went to the small mountain town for our honeymoon. And like, we would go like for happy hour, like at a restaurant, just do like the happy hour apps, have a drink, go back to our room, watch the Olympics.
Jamie, will you
things.
honeymoon with me next Summer Olympics? I would
Yes.
meet you. Yeah.
I wouldn't do the other things with you, but I
With
would
the
do
rest.
But then we just, I mean, we just watched the Olympics. Like it was awesome. Like we did other things. Like we had like activities, like we did mountain biking and stuff, which was like the scariest thing I've ever done. Like we did other
You
things,
rode
but
a
like, for
bike?
the most part, we were just like, we would like have plans to go out at night. And I was like, we would just like, just want to eat food and watch the Olympics. Yep.
Yep.
And the honeymoon things. Those are the other.
The rest.
But so I just finished Agatha All Along. If you are a nerd, I love WandaVision. Watch WandaVision first, but then I watched Agatha All Along. It was so good. The ending of it was like so satisfying.
oh, guess what? They're coming out with Queen Charlotte too. I'm so excited.
Ooh,
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
You watch one.
When? Like 2027?
I don't know when.
I can't wait. James, I have an extra credit right now in the Audible. I need you to tell me what to do next.
Okay, so this is where I'm at.
Okay.
I've been on a 4th ring run, but I did
but you
not
told me
like
about it.
I did not like the regular audio version of it. I did not like the girl's voice. Nothing against her, but I thought it was too immature for the character's voice. I don't know. It really bothered me. I've been doing the graphic. So I read that the first 2 books. The 3rd book's coming out in January. So good. It's like fantasy, romance, little erotic kind of stuff. You know, banging.
Yeah.
But they have these graphic audiobooks now where they like different actors do each voice, and it's like the background sounds are a little too much, especially like when it's like making out and I like it's like a little too much, but those voices are much better. But those come in parts, so I don't want you to waste your money. So I'm recommending the library card for that.
I did the library card, so I'll do the 4th wing or whatever it's called over there. But in the Audible, I just need a book.
Are you for like a thriller
Sure.
right now in your life?
I haven't done a thriller since I was listening to that one book for book club that had me all twisted up.
Yeah. Listen for the Lie is a really great audio book because it's a book about someone also making a podcast. So there's like snippets of the podcast in there, which is kind of cool because you're listening to it.
Yeah.
It's called Listen for the Lie. It's really good by Amy something. Tara?
In Tara, I just bought it. Okay, done. Can I tell you the last few books that I've read in this Audible? I listened to All in the Family, which is by Fred C. Trump III, who is the nephew of Donald Trump, whose son has significant needs.
And that was the one that Trump, I'm not going to get into that, but
yeah, right. But it was a really good book. I also recently finished The Unlikely Village of Eden. This is a book by Emma Nadler, who is a Minnesotan author. Her daughter has significant needs as well. And in the book, it was so interesting to me because I was like picking up lots of like autism spectrum traits as she was discussing. And she has a background in therapy. So they went for a diagnosis and the the assessors said no to autism. And I was like ready to throw my phone as I'm listening. And then they went back a couple of years later to another organization, which actually I think they went to Fraser, and they got her autism diagnosis. But it was so fascinating to me to listen to the mom tell her tale about her daughter. And I'm like queuing up all these traits. And then they didn't get the diagnosis because she's too social. I was like, oh, that's girl autism. And then they ended up getting it, but it was a good listen and a good story, just a really good story. And then the last one that I finished was Little Men by Louisa May Alcott, who wrote Little Women. And I just love her. Like I love her. I love her. That's kind of it.
Little Women's one of my favorite books.
Yeah.
I did read, who we're going to have on the podcast soon, Lori Hellman's book, Selling Vegetables to Drunks. which was so good. It was like a memoir of her life and growing up with an alcoholic parent and all this kind of stuff. It was really good. So people check that out because we're going to have her on.
She is, I can hardly wait to speak with her for our listeners, because her tales through trauma into the strength of like knowing and loving herself and accepting her history and her potential is so inspiring and remarkable. I just think she's good people. I have the paper copy of the book, but I haven't dove in yet because I've just been in a little bit
And
of shit.
she has an audio version too that she reads, and she reads it, and her sister also does, like, because her and her sister does some too, and they have like really good voices for doing it. Like I'm like, they sound like professionals.
Yeah.
Movie wise, I saw The Wild Robot with the kids in Florida. That
Yes.
was super cute.
Oh, cute. I thought it was cute.
I cried a little bit.
It was cute.
That's all I've seen. All I see are children's movies. Oh, I saw Transformers 1, which was also very good.
We saw Hit Pig on what day was
Oh, I'm
it?
gonna take the kids to see that.
Saturday. It's cute.
I'm excited for like the holiday movies and
Moana 2. I'm super stoked about.
November 27th.
Yep.
We're going to Disney on Ice November 27th. So tickets for November 28th. If I would have remembered the date.
Oh, I'm already going to buy all those tickets for
isn't-
holiday stuff. It's so expensive.
I know.
It's all
No.
adding
I was just talking to Chris Lindsay, who we've had on the podcast, and everybody knows that is just a dear friend of mine. She's going through so much stuff right now with one of her children, who she has shared a lot about on her page. Like, I'm talking about so much shit that they've been in the hospital for 6.5 weeks. Like, a lot. Like, it's not awesome for them right now. And you know what she told me? She's nearly done with Christmas shopping. I'm like, okay, bitch, I've not begun. I have 3 people, including me and my family. You are my hero. Yeah, she's almost done. I'm like, okay, cool your tits.
I do have a couple things for Jessie, which is funny.
I have
Like,
a couple little things for Kaya, but I don't even know what she wants yet.
Jessie,
Yeah.
I'm kind of set on just because, like, there's things I know he loves Sums, those, well, he loves Tsum Tsums, but we call them Sums, those little like stuffy. I got him the Inside Out ones because he loves Inside Out, so I know he'll just love that. And then at Disney, he always goes for these Woody and Jessie dolls that actually have the pull strings. And so I finally ordered those, and I know he'll love those. But it's kind of funny because he's usually the harder one to shop for, and I'm like, I actually know the stuff that. Like,
last year I had a 3-page list from my daughter, and this year she's like, I don't know. Like, just, it's like
She's
there's
like,
nothing
well,
she really wants.
I'm still opening Bob Ross paint from last year.
You know, yeah. I'm like, what about,
Whatever.
like, maybe I was thinking maybe a pair of Beats. Like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, fancy.
because all her stuff is Apple stuff, so I was thinking maybe a pair of those.
Maybe we'll bring Big Bird back to life and I'll rebuy him.
Yeah.
The holidays are creeping up.
I know.
I just did this whole shift. I told you guys to bring Sealy stuff downstairs from up and whatever. And like, I cleaned some parts of my floor that have not been cleaned since before Jenn Dunn was here. I mean, I'm talking months. But I contemplated whether or not I should put the tree up because it was the day after Halloween that I was beginning the whole shift of stuff. I'm like, am I in for this yet? No. I decided no. We'll see how long I last.
I put a couple decorations out. I did.
Yeah.
And then I'm
You
gonna
sent
I
me a
think we'll
video of
set it
your
up on the
gnome.
weekend. I'm gonna put the tree up. Maybe I'll hold off on the decorations, but I love the lights.
I love the
Yeah.
lights.
Love the lights.
I put lights
I,
up in my living room that are like these LED fairy lights or whatever, and they're just great.
I got some string lights instead of like putting a night light in Emily's room. I got like these string star lights, which I think will be really pretty. But yeah, I just took down my Halloween stuff today. I did take out the outside. I took down the outside stuff on the 1st, but today I finally took it. And I was a little sad because I didn't decorate as long for Halloween this year because we went on the trip.
Yeah.
So it's still
Jamie
sitting on my
needs an
table.
ample amount of time among her skulls in order to be refreshed and ready for her jingle bells.
And I've decided to put a couple of them in the box and only keep, because I'm going to keep out my candle skull this year and one other skull, but I'm putting away the other skulls, you guys.
Whoa.
I think. I haven't actually put them in the bin yet, but I usually don't decorate for Christmas until after Thanksgiving.
Mhm.
I don't, this is obscenely early. I know.
No, but a lot of people do this now. They do it right
Like,
after.
who cares? Like, I want to, I take it down
Yeah,
just
you
so everyone
like it.
listening knows. I used to take it down at like the moment presents were open. Like Kaya is like all done. Like she's like me because I've always done that. I take it down immediately. So now she's literally like all done. Christmas all done, which means get this shit put away, woman. So I actually waited till the 26th last year, which was
Whoa.
I know it was a big deal for me.
She didn't spend Christmas taking down decorations.
But like
Yeah.
I love it because by then I'm ready. Like
I think I'm lazy.
put
Like,
away,
yeah.
gone.
Well,
I don't
put
mind if
on
the
Halloween-
tree stays up through Christmas break. I'm like, I'll do this when you're back in school.
I
And
like
then
my
I do
tree being
stuff.
up for New Year's. I like my tree being around for New Year's.
Yeah.
And then after New Year's, I take it down. My trees. I put 3 Christmas trees up.
Please, plural, please. Yeah.
And the kids have their individual Christmas.
I was just gonna say that doesn't seem to count.
I
All of
have a
them.
little tray. I bought her a pink one. I think last year, a little pink one, and it lights up. And I put it in her room.
The
Would
most
you-
I've had up is 4 full Christmas trees.
Would you agree that the Christmas tree has never been the same since the McIsaac tree flew off the roof of the car on Christmas Eve? Remember?
My
Remember
favorite
when we
Christmas tree
got, like-
memory, and I wasn't even there.
Remember? It's a core memory of mine too. We got like videos of the ditch because she was using her phone flashlight to find the Christmas tree.
Dead.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
I remember
That
my
was-
tree that
we
had the-
found it. It wasn't dead. We found it.
I know. No, Jen was dying.
No, I was dead.
Oh.
Like she's like, nah, we'll go look in the morning. Like,
No.
and they found the freaking Christmas tree in the morning.
Yeah, in the next to the street tree.
Wait. No, it
Remember my
wasn't
lights that were
It was
backwards?
the night before Christmas Eve.
Correct. But then you
Was
found it
Christmas
on
Eve?
Christmas
Because
Eve
they
morning.
don't wait till the last minute.
No, the last minute would be Christmas morning.
But once you take, like, I love having my Christmas decorations out. It's snowing right now, so you know I'm gonna be listening to Christmas music tomorrow. That's you know, like, but when you put all the Christmas decorations away, it's like, oh, you feel like you have so much more room in your house.
Yeah, I love
Yes.
it. Yeah. it's
We're a
great.
fake tree family.
We're a fake
So I
tree.
can do it whenever.
I'm a put mine together kind of girl and then plug
We're
it
a
in.
multi
Yeah.
fake tree.
Do you
family.
remember my lights that were flipped?
Yes, your mullet tree.
At the ombre tree?
Oh yeah,
That was great.
I remember
One of my
that.
first
That's
memories
great.
of Jen, I feel like.
We're a real tree Christmas family. Real Christmas tree.
Yeah.
They're a real family though, also.
They're
I don't
also
know
a
about
real family. A real full family.
Real Griswold family.
Well, happy November, everyone.
Yeah, on that
Yep.
cheerful note.
Happy
What?
Veterans
And-
Day.
Yep.
Which
Thank you
can
for
we
your
just
service. Always on the 11th.
Right.
always on. Which
And
is-
sometimes
I
it's
have
like really
veterans in my family,
confusing
so-
because like it'll be on like a Wednesday and then everyone's like, what day of the week is it? Because it's so
I know.
confusing to have like a Wednesday off in the middle of the week.
But we don't get it off here, which is like,
You get nothing off. You might as well live in Canada.
no, you guys just get everything off. You get, I didn't even know, what is it, Patriot Day?
Yeah, that's in April.
I didn't even
Yeah.
know that's a thing. We don't
The
have
British
that.
are coming. The British are coming. Yes, because they came.
Yes, seriously.
The British
they
didn't
came
come
here.
here.
They
the
didn't
British
come
didn't
to
come here.
Colorado.
They didn't come
They
here. We came here and we were the bad guys. in Colorado.
I
Me
also
too.
think they just use it for an excuse because it's the same day as the marathon.
Oh,
the
you guys
Boston
have the
Marathon.
Boston Marathon, yeah.
It's always on Patriots Day, so I think they're just like we're just gonna,
You know what?
make
One
a
of my-
holiday out of it.
the New York Marathon just happened this past weekend. And
Yeah.
there's nothing I love more than watching sweet marathon videos and then crying like at the happy moments or laughing. I think it's the greatest thing that I will never participate in because I will never want to. But I
I've
love
never seen anything about the New York Marathon. I didn't even know that was a thing.
that. Just
Oh my
happens.
gosh. I just want the sneakers.
My algorithm is not the same as Jamie's.
The last people that come through and all these people stick around to cheer on the final people.
Magical right there.
All right. Thank you everyone for listening. We hope you enjoyed this. We will be back sometime soon with more.
When we have more nerves after this. Oh,
Bye,
gosh.
everyone.
Have a great night.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of the Talk Like a Mother Parenting Autism podcast. If you are enjoying our podcast, make sure to rate and review us wherever you listen. And if you'd like to support us, you can become a subscriber. Just check out the description of this episode. Give us a follow on Facebook and Instagram for more content, and we'll see you next time.